I am going to sue anybody who is voting red this year. Red is not the color to be voting for. Vote blue. If not, you will have a case with me. And I will win because the Democrats are good at winning. We are going to win in November. So vote blue. Vote blue. Any color but red, vote blue. Anybody who votes red will be getting sued. Is that understood? I'm telling you right now, do not vote red. Vote blue. Kamala Harris will be your next president. That is right. I'm sorry. I hate to break it to you this hard, but she will be your next president. Bye.
Now, my mama raised me with morals and integrity and all that type of stuff, so I'm gonna refrain from throwing any jokes out there. I'll just say this. Don't the supporters all kind of have similarities? I'll leave it at that. Anyhow, being sued because you are... Okay. He just made it easy for me to transition to this next clip. Me actually inserting myself right now is pretty pointless, right? Because he said he's going to sue people if they vote red. If they don't vote blue, there's going to be a case against them. But today I woke up to so many people who said I was a Democrat, and I started to realize the policies that I was voting for, it wasn't in my standard that I believed in. Stuff like that. Yeah. Case is about to be put on all y'all and me.
This town is 54% Hispanic. You're Peruvian. When you talk to your neighbors, what are you hearing?
More Latino voters, Indian voters. They're moving more into the right, more into Donald Trump. 2 years ago, everybody hated him. Now, majority are like, no, I'm voting for Trump.
Really?
Yes, really.
I was a Democrat, and I started to realize the policies that I was voting in wasn't my standards or what I believed.
The Republican Party has the values that we hold dear. That is God, family, life.
You'll be surprised. I used to do registration, and a lot of people change party to go to the Republican Party instead of the Democrat.
I am a registered Democrat. I was on the fence. I was going to vote for Trump. Current moment right now, the way everything is going, I still need to see what's on the table.
Who are you voting for this year?
President Donald Trump.
You're more open to voting for someone other than the Democrat ticket this time than last time? There's a possibility.
I've seen a lot of people leaning towards Trump right now.
Even people who were Biden before?
Even people that was Biden, you know.
I'm hoping that President Trump wins again.
So were the tips higher when Trump was in office?
Of course. We got to get Trump in office.
Think that'll fix the problem?
I know it will.
So as you can see, the streets miss Trump. Not only that, we see so many people having a walk. Well, I ain't gonna say they walking away from the Democratic Party, but it's effective to say this year in this election, they're walking away from the Democrat Party due to all of these failed policies and failed promises and all these big promises that they continue to make but never act upon. Somebody said it won't continue being, quote, MAGA country, quote, if Trump doesn't get out and start campaigning more. Somebody said, I don't know. I feel like Trump, because we have Kamala installed now, we do have this new level of what the, you know, because they kind of hiding their hand a little bit, so to speak. So just a little bit, but that's only because people are propagandaed and brainwashed into identity politics and things of that nature. So that was definitely a dent for Donald Trump, in my opinion, but not too big of a dent to where he's not going to be leading in November. But yeah, we see so many Democrats jumping over the line to, red. And that's because Democrats, y'all have done way too much, man. And we're tired of it. We done caught on to it. Somebody else said she is in downtown, some Outtown, PA. That's a good sign. Democrat politicians in California are switching to Republican. Democrats in Pennsylvania are voting red. We can heal. We can make our country thrive and free again. Trump 2024. everybody else is saying. I'm saying Kamala's a fraud more than a few times up on here. Another one somebody else says, I'm gonna read a few more, then we're gonna get on, move on. As these guys who support a smuck that thinks pals and suckers are losers and also calls a highly respected general hung, turns his back on 300,000 Americans that ended up on life support because of his willingness to do nothing and orchestrated an insurrection. This is somebody who's obviously talking about Donald Trump. Is he declining to vote for the felon now? Somebody else wrote. Okay, so yeah, y'all see that we got some, some haters amongst all that. But anyhow, I'm seeing right here, California State Senator Marie Alvarado Gil, a lifelong Democrat, is now switching to the Republican Party as well. She apparently doesn't want Kamala to California America either.
First, Senator, in your first live interview since breaking news, you have gone from a Democrat in California to a Republican. I mean, what's the reasoning for the move from one side of the aisle to the other?
Well, that's the big question of the day. And the answer is really simple. I've been a lifelong Democrat, and the Democratic Party of today in California, I do not recognize it. And so I can't, in good conscience, with the values that I have and my commitment to represent the voters of California, continue to call myself a Democrat.
Totally relatable, man. If y'all haven't seen my How I Left the Democrat Plantation video, definitely go to my profile. It's the very first video that pops up. And also at the end of this video is going to be right down here or up here. I can't remember which one of them going to be the recommended videos. But if you sort of skip to like the last 15 seconds or within the last minute, it should pop up. Yeah, so y'all can see. Anyhow, we got just a small portion as to why she decided to, switch parties. But we also have this detailed version or a detailed clip of her, explaining how she really made that switch over.
I've been a Democrat for as long as I can remember. I voted first when I was 18, a while ago. And I have reflected on this for quite some time. I've served now in the Senate for 2 years. This is my first position in elected office. I represent a district that is dynamic, diverse, amazing. It's the part of California that I grew up in, and it's the part of California that I love, Senate District 4, which encompasses the eastern side of California, very rural, rich in resources, and really personifies the American values. And in the past 2 years that I've been working in the Senate, I have not recognized the party that I belong to. The Democratic Party is not the party that I signed up for decades ago. This is not the party that I believed would take us into the direction of California of making sure we lift up the middle class and we move in the direction that our kids can have that California dream that we as parents have sacrificed so much. So I came to the realization after much reflection and prayer that it is time for me to give up that D and to cross over to join my colleagues in the Republican caucus here in California.
Wow. That is a very big announcement. And I've got to say, very, very unusual in California. I don't know my history. Perhaps you can tell me if there's any precedent for this. So I can't think of one in recent history. It is a really big deal.
Yeah, we don't think that this has been done before. We think it should be done more often. But as you can imagine, it's not a very popular decision to leave a supermajority party where perhaps, you have a lot more power and ability to engage in the political environment to a party that right now is in the minority. So, I certainly have taken that into account. But this is not only a personal decision, but this is a decision that is right for the constituents that voted me into office.
At the end of the day, the American people, we just tired of this same old script, okay? We just tired of the same things that we continue to get from the Democratic Party every 4 years. We tired of seeing what we seeing in these Democrat cities. And Kamala Harris, I don't think she's going to be the solution whatsoever. If anything, she's definitely driving more and more people away from that plantation. Right here, RNC Research wrote Kamala's entire candidacy has considered has consisted of reading the same recycled script over and over. She knows she can't go off script because voters would see her for who she is, a radical left fraud.
It really is good to be back in Wisconsin. It is so good to be back in Michigan. Listen, let me tell you, I am clear. The path to the White House runs right through this state. And listen, I am clear. The path to the White House runs right through this state. I took on perpetrators of all kinds. I took on perpetrators of all kinds and had a summer job at McDonald's. I had a summer job at McDonald's. So hear me when I say, so hear me, Detroit, when I say, I know Donald Trump's type. I know Donald Trump's type. And are we ready to fight for it? And are we ready to fight for it? And when we fight, we win. Really?
No, when you fight, millions of babies aren't being born. I'll just say that. And if you get the joke, you get the joke. If you get the joke, you get it. To everybody else who don't get it, it's probably like, what is he talking about? No, we're not actually talking about the literal sense, okay? We're talking about Willie Brown. Anyhow, former Democrat who is now voting for President Trump. Quote, people are just struggling. I hear from the working class people who used to be able to afford vacations. Now they're opted out this summer because they just can't afford it in Kamala's economy.
I think all those topics are hot topics for the people. People are feeling the financial squeeze right now. So yes, the border and border security being so close here is a very important issue. But so is the economy, and people are just struggling. I hear it from the working class people who used to be able to afford vacations. Now, they opted out this summer because they just can't afford it. And so it's not just the border. It's all those subjects that you mentioned that they're paying attention to this election.
And you see, that's the problem right there. We, the American people, we are tired of this scripted propaganda, man. Somebody said, fight for what? She has no policies outlined, no accomplishments other than personal. Would be good to know what she's fighting for. I have no clue either, my man. She said when they fight, they win. When they don't do nothing, they win. But that's a whole nother. She's dumber than a box of rocks, so of course they can't let her off script. If she goes off script, bro, it's over. Only the accents change depending on her audience. Somebody else says, what would she do without a teleprompter? At least she doesn't need, doesn't read, pause, repeat the line, right? Fake speeches, fake rallies, DI hire. Look, she gotta go.